Hey guys, it's Matt, and here are my often wacky, sometimes decently smart ideas for the day. Um, Idea number one, smart stoplights. So we've all been at a stoplight before. There hadn't been any other traffic. Why in the world are we stopped there? This would be solved by having some type of camera embedded in the stoplight, and in those situations, it would turn from red to green. Simple, smart, it'll happen. I'd like to see it happen sooner. Idea number two, premium insights. In an earlier post, it could have been my very first idea post, I shared this idea of offering premium newsletters. Now, that's not anything game changing. It can certainly be game changing from a lifestyle design perspective if you're offering it. Great way to run a business from your own home or wherever in the world you want to live. But this is that idea on steroids. And I came across this while reading material from a mentor of mine, unbeknownst to him, James Altucher. One of his friends does exactly this. He writes premium newsletters for a few very large corporations, and he sells them for about $10,000 a month. The interesting thing about this model is that he outsources most of the research. And they conduct the research, his virtual team conducts the research, sends it back to him, and then he distills that research into digestible content that can be delivered to his clients. Neat idea, and very possible in today's economy. Idea number three, real social media. So I don't think that this is a realistic goal, but I think that it's worth bringing up, which is when I go through Facebook or any social media site, I find myself getting a little bit depressed because everybody seems to be having such a great time and doing such amazing things. And I start thinking, why is my life so freaking boring? Like, why am I laying in bed right now when all these other people out there are having such a great time? Maybe to a degree, that's true. But I also think it's important for us to realize that these are highlight reels of our lives. And so I think people need to be a little bit more vulnerable with their posts on social media. Me posting videos like this, taken with my webcam in my apartment, is one way that I'm going to try to make that possible from my own perspective. So just remember that social media, for the most part, it's highlight reels of people's lives, and I think there should be a push to kind of get real on social media, or to at least realize that everybody's lives are pretty much as boring as yours. All right, here's to sobering opinions. All right, idea number four, haul to sell. So a buddy of mine, he makes a nice little amount of money buying things from thrift stores and then putting them on eBay and selling them for a higher price. It's just pure entrepreneurship. I love it. He was talking to me recently about how the frustrating thing about what he does is that he feels like if he doesn't get to stores really early, he misses out on buying some items that he could make a nice amount of money on. So we were talking about how could we figure out a way to eliminate or reduce that feeling and therefore allow him to make more money. And the solution we chatted about was to offer a kind of a hauling service where once every month he would offer people the ability to drop off the items that they no longer want, and then he would come and pick them up, and he would sell the items that he thought he could sell, and then donate or throw away the rest, or recycle the rest. And so it'd be a service to the person who no longer wants it, that it would find some home that, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Find a home where that person considers it a treasure, and then it would obviously be a benefit to my buddy because he's able to make a little bit of money off of it. So yeah, haul to sell. All right, idea number 5 is flower pot vases. You'll see over here, I've got a few potted plants, and on the left is one with some flowers that I picked on my run earlier today. The idea here is pretty simple. I would like to have some small vases just inside of the perimeter of my pots where I could put picked flowers. And right now I'm thinking that the easy solution is I would just basically bury the vases in the soil. The problem with that is if I wanted to swap out the water for fresh water, I'd have to take it out and then take out the vase, pour out the water, refill up the vase, put it back in, bury it, put it back in, then put it in the picked flowers. What I would rather do is have all of those vases buried once, and then in the bottom have some tiny little hole or something to where it would drip out the water ever so slightly throughout the day, or ideally throughout like a whole week. It would be that slow of a release, and it'd be a neat way for me to empty those vases without having to take them out of the soil while also watering the potted plant. So that's my idea number 5. All right, so those are the ideas that I'm sharing publicly today. I will be sharing all of my 70 weekly ideas in an email to those who opted in. That'll be sent out later on this afternoon. If you would like to receive that email, I'd love to send it to you. You can comment with your email address in the comments below. And until tomorrow, I hope you have a great Sunday.